The Titans are going to win the ball game. Your 2023 CCIW Men's Lacrosse Tournament champions are the Titans.
6 to shoot. Roach wrangles in. The leaner off the glass and in.
Ah.
5-yard penalty. And for the first time in nearly a calendar year, it's a bounce-back game for the 4th-ranked Illinois Wesleyan Titans after they suffered their first loss of the campaign on Saturday at Carthage when they welcomed the 3-19 North Park Vikings to the Shirk Center. I'm Matt Sosler alongside Kirill Anastasov. Kirill, how do the green and white bounce back?
Perfect opportunity for them to recover from the defeat they suffered just a few days ago. Playing a team that's on a 15-game losing skid, a losing run that started with a defeat to Wesleyan. So there's everything to play for the Titans. Obviously, there's a bye on the line, conference permutations still very much in play. So today it's all about the shooting. It's all about forgetting about the last game, putting that result beyond their minds, and focusing on getting a comfortable win here.
We'll dive deeper into that in just a moment, but right now we'll take a quick break and be joined by assistant coach Brian Erzman on IWSports.com. Pre-game before the Titans take on the Vikings, Matt Sosler alongside Titan assistant coach Brian Erzman. And coach, for the first time since the Carroll game leading into Concordia Moorhead, it's a bounce-back game for the green and white. Take me through the past few days, especially working on an accelerated timeline.
Yeah, obviously something different that we hadn't experienced yet this season, which is, a blessing in and of itself. I said I don't think I've ever been a part of a team where my first loss in a season came in mid-February. So obviously you get different opinions, you get different messages from people, but I like the mindset where the team's at. We came back yesterday ready to work, and I think it helps moving the game up. Like you said, the accelerated schedule. So we really were able to focus on the next opponent. We didn't have time to really reflect on that as we got ready for a game that we only had one day to prep for.
Focusing on the defensive side of the ball, giving up 87 points on Saturday. Coach Smith alluded to it in Titan Table Talk a little bit. We'll dive deeper into that later. But what has the practice been like on that side of the floor to try and clamp down, especially against North Park and then heading into the rest of the way?
We kind of debated on how to handle it, whether it be like individual defense or team defense, and it was both. I mean, you have to have individual pride. You can't get beat direct, straight line to the basket. It's really hard to have help for that. On the same token, we need to be better about being in gaps, recognizing when somebody's beat, and then helping on the rebounding end. Like, it felt like a lot of one-on-one basketball, and we left our teammates out on an island. Credit to Carthage. They played really quickly. They were very aggressive. They played really well, but, a lot of defensive tape for sure.
Moving on to North Park, I'll start from a coach's perspective. We could look at the weather forecast over the weekend and know that there was a chance this game could be moved up 24 hours. How does that impact your prep with 24 less hours to prepare?
Yeah, it speeds everything up. You don't have as much time to really dive into everything that they do. So you focus on, the main points while also focusing on things for yourself. So we've had one practices before. Actually, it was North Park the first time because we played on a Sunday, so our off day had to come next on a Monday. We played them on Wednesday. So kind of accustomed to that, but, no excuses. They're in the same boat. So you not do as much in practice as maybe you can do in 2 days, but we feel prepared the second time around.
This is the largest gap between the first time and the second time facing an opponent that you'll see of any CCIW opponent this year. What's new about North Park?
I mean, I think as the season goes on, they just get more comfortable with each other, and they have a lot of young players. Like, their better players are sophomores, and Hirschberger and Long. Abundez is coming on as a grad transfer as well, so they're only going to get better with more game experience. You see that in the second time around conference with their scores. Almost all of them are closer. They played Wheaton to a 6-point game, 16 to Carthage, and, you know, that shows improvement, and I really like what their coach is doing with them. They're running some new sets offensively, and I feel like they're really playing hard for it.
So for the Titans, what's the plan of attack against North Park today to clinch a conference bye?
We feel like Carthage did not be affected by our full court pressure, so we want to make North Park feel our full court pressure and then continue that pace to carry over to our offensive end.
Matt Sossler alongside assistant coach Brian Ayersman. Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Curl hops back on right after this. We'll dissect some players to watch on IWSports.com.
OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute has been named one of the top hospital systems in the country for heart care. This prestigious award by the American College of Cardiology comes from our commitment to providing the highest quality of care, from general cardiology to complex surgeries and the latest technology. Nationally recognized heart care right here. OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute.
Back in Bloomington, Matt Sossler alongside Carol Anastasov. Let's take a look at the last time North Park and Illinois Wesleyan met. It was at the corner of Foster and Kedzie, and it was all Titans.
Complete dominance start to finish from the Wesleyan Titans. Crucial, as in every game this season, were those second quarter points. 37 of them for the Titans, and we can expect the second quarter to be pivotal in this clash as well. Obviously, the first quarter, slowly the rust is wearing off. Slowly the teams are getting used to each other's style of play, and the second quarter is when the Titans typically explode. Equally important were the points off turnovers, Wesleyan capitalizing on defensive errors made by the Vikings, scoring 36 that time, and the shooting characteristically superior from the Titans.
That was the most points scored in a single quarter this season from the green and white. 13 different Titans scored in that ball game, led by Mallory Powers in that contest. And Powers has been a player that is expected to dominate. We'll peek at that in just a moment. But let's take a look at the current situation around the CCIW. With the loss for the Titans at Carthage, it tightens the rope just a hair. After the Carroll game, with 5 games left, now 4, the Titans had to win 3 of 5. Curl, correct me if I'm wrong, but in any situation, 3 out of 5 sounds a lot better and a lot easier than now for the Titans. It's 3 out of 4. So their work is cut out for them still to host the conference tournament here at the Shirk Center. They can clinch a first-round bye outright, no questions asked, with a win tonight, or Carthage losing one game at some point throughout the rest of the season. You're taking a look at the standings on your screen. Carthage with 8-5, and then Milliken also with 5 losses, but Milliken unable to catch the Titans due to the very deep list of tiebreakers that we'll take a look at as the conference slate rolls along. But the most important task for the Titans tonight is start the ship in the right direction towards picking up a win, locking up a bye, and at least crossing another day off the calendar in the CCIW.
Certainly that loss changes things for the Titans in the sense that the pressure is back on. The target's still on Wesleyan's back, but the margin's ever so slim. Now the motivation is put that result beyond doubt. A few days ago, it seemed like Wesleyan was cruising to a regular season title. Now that might not be the case, and they want to restore parity, re-emphasize that Illinois Wesleyan is the best team in this conference right now.
Ranked 4th in the country. I mentioned Mallory Powers a few minutes ago as we head into the 4-minute drill. Let's take a look at our players to watch, starting with the Amboy native. Powers, like I said earlier, has been a key player, especially from behind the three-point line. She not only made D3Hoops.com's Team of the Week in the last week of January, she also was the CCIW Student Athlete of the Week during that same 7-day stretch. Led the team with 15 points and was 3 of 4 from behind the three-point line at North Park, and coming off of a pretty quiet 14-point outing up in Kenosha. In that ball game, the stat that falls silent is that the Titans scored 81. Lauren Huber had a double-double. It was not bad offensively for the Titans, but they still fell behind. Powers has also scored in double figures in 3 out of the last 5 games. And for the Vikings, seeking their first conference win of the campaign, it's Aaliyah Hirschberger. Hirschberger, the sophomore out of Indiana, put up 21 points against the Titans in their matchup on December the 4th, averaging just shy of double figures. But, Curl, the Vikings offensively have been searching for answers, and maybe this is the night that they figure it out.
Well, they'll certainly be hoping so, and they'll need Hirschberger to stay hot. She'll need to play just as well as she did in the last clash against Wesleyan if North Park are to stand a chance. Her and Caroline Long, who's led the team in scoring this season, are particularly important to North Park's offensive efforts.
This game a little bit delayed. North Park got stuck in traffic on their way down to the Shirk Center. So they were allotted their full 25-minute warm-up period, and we finally hit the 1-minute mark. Ava Bardick scored her 1,000th point a week ago tonight. Here's PA announcer Ben Alcine to congratulate the Lincolnshire native.
Tonight's CCIW contest will feature the visiting North Park University Vikings, your host, the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan. North Park enters the contest 3-19 on the season, 0-13 in the conference. The Vikings are coached by Annie Rudakovich in her 3rd season at her alma mater. Illinois Wesleyan enters the contest 20-1 on the season, 11-1 in the CCIW, coaching the Titans in her 27th season with 10 conference championships and a record of 517 wins and 208 losses. Maya Smith. Fans, at this time, we ask you to turn your attention to center court as we recognize the latest Titan to score 1,000 career points. With free throws in the final seconds of last week's win over Carroll, junior guard Ava Bardick eclipsed 1,000 points for her career. Ava, who transferred to IW as a sophomore, scored 312 points as a freshman at the University of Illinois Springfield. Lincolnshire native has scored 700 points during her Titan career, and to this point, and is averaging 13.1 points per game at IW. Ladies and gentlemen, Ava Bardick, your most recent 1,000 career point scorer. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
And now, let's meet our starters. First, for the visiting Vikings of North Park University. 5'6", and a sophomore from Elkhart, Indiana, number 2, Aaliyah Hirschberger. 5'6", and a freshman from Yorkville, number 5, Alicia Peterson. 5'6", and a junior from Mount Prospect, number 12, Catherine Keene. A 5'8" graduate student from Melrose Park, 15, Evelyn Abundez. And a 5'10" sophomore from Kokomo, Indiana, 25, Caroline Long. And now for the Titans, 5'8" and a junior from Downers Grove, number 2, Sawyer White. 5'8", and a senior from Lombard, number 5, Lauren Huber. 5'6", and a junior from Lincolnshire, 22, Ava Bardick. 5'10", and a senior from Amboy, number 23, Mallory Powers. And a 5'10" senior from Geneva, 24, Kate Palmer.
The starting lineups from the Shirk Center in Bloomington. Matt Sosler, Kirill Anastasov, the Titans about to take on the Vikings of North Park. Again, North Park arriving a little late due to traffic ahead of a major winter storm anticipated to hit all the way from central Illinois up through Chicagoland, moving this game originally scheduled for tomorrow night up to tonight, and much needed for the Titans, bouncing back following their first loss of the season to Carthage on Saturday. Only change in the starting lineup from last game to this, Sawyer White in for Katie Knutson. Huber and Long in the center circle. We're underway at the Shark. Early action on the ground. Well recovered by the Vikings. We'll have to see if they call possession on that, on Huber on the tip. That would influence possession error. Early pass tipped and taken away by Palmer. Playing with speed, White just short.
White, of course, moved into the starting lineup, and deservedly so. She contributes much offensively despite that miss there to start the game, but even more so defensively.
Peterson, second go, and Caroline Long heads to the line. Long, the leading scorer for North Park, averaging 13.2 points per game. Shoots 69% from the free throw line. She'll get her first shot following the foul on Huber, her first team's first.
First one doesn't go.
Long on the fourth. It's kept relatively silent. Quick officials conference. Patty Carmichael, Leanne Hall, and Dan Fisher are officiating crew tonight. Second end, and North Park strikes first.
We can expect most every North Park attack to go through Long.
Bardick hits every part of the rim. Titans cold to start, nothing for two from the field.
Shooting a crucial issue in the defeat at Carthage.
Out of bounds, did not hit anybody. Abundez turns it over. And Carroll on an accelerated timeline, not through a normal routine. and also starting 10 minutes late could cause some havoc for both sides.
Yeah, it's certainly been a bumpy lead up for either side here.
Bardick fouled.
And now the important thing is making that quick turnaround, bouncing back. This could be a blessing in disguise for Wesleyan, of course, having that game moved up, an opportunity to record a win shortly after that first defeat of the season.
Tom Peterson, her first, team's first. Bardick honored for her 1,000th point pregame. We're even at 1. Bardick, the best free throw shooter for the green and white, shooting 84%. Titans with their first lead of the day.
Bardick, of course, hitting that 1,000 career point mark, having transferred from UIS to Wesleyan. She'll be hoping to hit by the end of her Wesleyan career 1,000 points in the green and white jersey.
Something that should not be an issue based on her current season average. Abundez, it's our first field goal of the day.
North Park have entered this game about as we have expected. Open attack, creating their chances, taking risks early on.
Travel called on Powers.
Everything going according to plan for Annie Radenkovic and her side so far.
First turnover for Illinois Wesleyan.
Hirschberger leading the attack here.
White in the corner, long against Powers. And that's what Mallory can do down low. Not a traditional post, but can force those undersized posts into a bit of a rough day. Titans still looking for their first field goal, knocked out of bounds, stays on this end.
For all the defensive issues North Park have had this season, they've opened this game bravely.
Foul called against Long. Second on the team, and her first.
Viking foul on Caroline Long, her first, team second.
Titans methodical to start. Offensive foul called on Huber. That's her second. So Katie Knutson heads to the scorer's bench to take Huber's spot.
Attacking troubles early on for the Titans. No cause for concern, of course, just 3 minutes into this, less than 3 minutes into this opening quarter, but something to keep an eye on, something the Vikings will be satisfied they've been able to quell attacking threat.
Third straight game, the All-American has picked up 2 fouls in the first half.
Of course, always hampering the team to have your star player in foul trouble at any point.
Abundez, no whistle. A matchup change with Knutson in versus Huber. First field goal for the Titans.
Knutson making the most of her opportunity off the bench, taking Wesleyan into a slim 1-point lead here.
Knutson and White split time in the starting lineup. It's the good old notion of size versus speed. Long, walled off. Titans with their first chance to run. Powers from her favorite spot. Second chance. Ten to shoot. Bardick. You bet.
Bardick makes no mistake. It's another excellent conversion.
Shoots 37% from behind the three-point arc.
Vikings looking for a quick solution.
And no answer from Long. Spin cycle, fouled.
Talked a little bit about Caroline Long's struggles in that first game between these two teams this season. Of course, she has been the star throughout this season, but so far today we're seeing the same problems that she had in the home game.
The Geneva native shoots 80% from the free throw line, had 10 points against Carthage. Free throws were a critical point of emphasis on Saturday. One can make the argument that it would not have been as close if the Titans didn't get to the free throw line 10 times in the first half. Perfect pair.
Again, making the most of that trip to the line.
This is one of the first times the Titans can line up in the traditional run and jump off a dead ball. Works to perfection. The 2-on-1, no issue, and a foul.
Absolutely perfect transition play. This is what makes Wesleyan such a dangerous team. They're so quick off the turnover to turn defense into attack, and it could turn into a three-point play here.
On Kaskovich, her first, team's fourth. Another thing to point out, that being the fourth team foul on North Park. The Titans will shoot free throws for the rest of the first quarter.
Given how well they've been shooting from the line so far, that is a weapon.
Taken away by Powers, stripped out of bounds, and it stays with the Titans.
Everything going according to plan now after a bumpy first couple minutes. Wesleyan, as they so often do, making it difficult for the opponents to even get onto the opposing side's path.
One-on-one, Knutson against Reed, and Knutson rattles her second field goal. Reed in a homecoming, the senior out of Bloomington, went to Normal West. Very familiar with the Shirk Center, a venue that hosts not only the Titans, but a lot of high school hoops as well. Titans with their largest lead of 11. And another takeaway. Power slows it down behind Bali. Gives it right back.
Pass.
So we see Sophia Feeney. Speaking of Bloomington natives, the sophomore checks in. Feeney, a second-generation basketball star in the Blono area. Her father, Dave, now the all-time winningest coach for Normal Community girls basketball. Dave also spent some time under Ron Rose during the 2010s. Another missed field goal for the Vikings and add on a foul. Check that, a travel on Knutson. Peterson in for Catherine Keene. And a timeout called. 4:46 left in the first. Titans by 11. We'll take 30 seconds on IWSports.com. The price is right at the Shirk Center with Illinois Wesleyan up 14-3 over North Park. Matt Sosler alongside Carol Anastasov, looking at Bryce Williams along with Pat Dasbach of the Titan men's volleyball program, coming off of one of their best weeks in program history, their first ranked win in program history coming last Thursday against 19 Dominican, and then a split try on Sunday, losing to Benedictine in 5 and taking down Wabash in a 5th set tiebreak. The Titan men's volleyball program, they'll hit the road later this week out east to Springfield, Massachusetts, the birthplace of both basketball and volleyball, just up the road in Holyoke to take on Arcadia and the Pride.
Yeah, it's certainly shaping up to be a very successful spring season for Wesleyan sports as we get another turnover here.
Denied by Bali, but hits right off her foot, so that's the second straight sequence in which the Titans have forced a miscue on the Vikings, but have handed them the ball right back.
The Vikings haven't been able to capitalize on these newfound opportunities, still sitting at 3 points.
1 of 7 from the field, make that 2 of 8.
Much needed basket.
First time since the early minutes that the Titans are forced to answer. Bardick rejects the screen. Bench wanted White to take that. Bali. Too much.
He went for 3 there with the clock winding down, but ball's one straight back.
Taken by Bardick, converts it to 2.
No mistake.
North Park has turned it over now 6 times. Similar to the Titans, who have 5. However, the difference is live ball versus dead ball turnovers. As Peterson pulls a Houdini act. Abundez. Second chance, rebounded by Reed. Foul called on White. That's Sawyer's first and the team's third.
Valerie Powers and Kate Palmer for the Titans.
Lauren Huber, the All-American, has been out of the game since the early first with foul trouble.
Of course, this is the sort of game where Wesleyan can afford to do without Huber, as that 3 is no good.
North Park, nothing of 2 from behind the three-point line. Bali falls down, a travel called.
Catherine Keene returns.
That's the 6th turnover on the Titans. Almost all of them have been dead ball giveaways, which again is better than a live ball. You're not forcing a transition situation, but still something that you'd like to numb. There's a live ball turnover, 2-on-1. Palmer short on the layup.
Despite the miss, another glimpse into just how dangerous Wesleyan is off of every live ball turnover they forced.
That's one she'd like to have back. Reed no good on the other side. Knudsen. Titans also more methodical on the offensive side. 10 seconds. Knudsen with a mismatch. Can't close. Powers fouled on her way up. First on Reed. And the all-conference selectee heads to the free throw line for the first time in a couple games.
For the Vikings, Sawyer White. For the Texas,
Powers is 63.3% from the free throw line this season.
It's been used as a Swiss Army knife for Maya Smith's squad, mixing between guards and posts. Rattles the first. Powers looking to become the 4th active Titan to join the Comma Club behind Lauren Huber, Kate Palmer, and Ava Bardick. And inches a little closer.
That sort of statistic is just a testament to the golden generation we have here in Bloomington at the moment. This team truly one of the greatest and arguably among the greatest to have ever graced Illinois Wesleyan.
Almost taken away by Palmer. Bardick snatches it away. Powers 77 points away from 1,000 with those 2 free throws. In-out action. Perfect.
Intricate passing, no mistake. Perfect court awareness from each of the 5 players on the court right now.
Palmer has 4. Hirschberger wide open in the first triple for the Vikings today.
There's a glimpse into the sort of threat that Hirschberger can provide.
Some football-style passing. Knudsen fouled on the shot. And Martha Lippick checks in. One of the stories that has gotten buried under, the loss, the time change, the delay, is that since the Wheaton game, which was on January 25th, the Titans have played, for all intents and purposes, 7 players. Against Carthage, Luigi Lamb and Sophia Feeney played less than a minute each. And so today is a game in which Maya Smith, and with the Titans leading by 13, would hope to go a lot deeper, not only get some in-game experience for players further down the bench, but fresh legs, as the analyst for the Titan men's team, Joel Swanson, would say, is vital this time of year. And so we saw Feeney eat up a few minutes earlier. Martha Lippick, who is now, as it's taken away by Bardick for the moment, tussle on the floor, jump ball, North Park has possession.
It's so important for the players who are deeper in the rotation at the moment to take these opportunities, capitalize on them, especially with a very packed schedule approaching CCIW tournament and the national tournament, which for all intents and purposes Wesleyan have qualified for.
They locked up their spot in the conference tournament. It's about spot from this point on. Each comes with its own incentive. Hirschberger, spin around. She has the last 5 for the Vikings. But going back to Martha Lippick, with Laura Malum still out with injury, in a normal set, you could say she's the number 2 to number 3 post option on this Illinois Wesleyan squad, depending on how they use Lauren Huber. White nearly turned over. Good read by Powers. Lippick creates space and finishes.
Important 2 points there for Lippick and for her confidence, and we would be amiss not to praise Powers for her commitment to not letting that attack die, and ball's won again here.
First steal from White. Bardick heads to the free throw line, and with that swipe, Sydney Shanks, you have company. Sawyer White climbs to second place in the all-time steals ranks for the green and white.
She has contributed so much defensively all season long, and a well-deserved accolade there. She will be knocking on the door of that first place mark for the rest of her career here.
White's second steal of the day. So White now the 3rd player for the Titans with 233 steals in their career or more. Of course, the leader in the clubhouse, also new mom, Rebecca Erzman, at 296. White already broke Erzman's single season record last year, and now trying to take down Erzman one more time.
Of course, certainly legends of this program won't be too upset about seeing their records threatened. All that means is that the future is in safe hands as far as this Wesleyan women's basketball team is concerned.
What do they say in sports? Records are meant to be broken, championships live forever.
Precisely right.
Titans lead by 16 in the waning moments of the first.
That 3 is no good, but rebound 1.
By Long against Lippick. Second chance can't go.
Long's shooting struggles continue.
Long 0 for 3 from the field. Titans with an opportunity for the last shot, with the shot clock silent. Palmer with a good look, and they'll take that every time.
We mentioned in the pregame how pivotal the second quarter is for pulling ahead, but in this situation, it's almost not necessary. The Titans have built up an 18-point lead inside the opening 10 minutes.
And Peterson loses the race to the horn, and the Titans with kind of a silent but dominant first quarter, leading 28-10. We'll break down the opening quarter when we come back on IWSports.com.
OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute has been named one of the top hospital systems in the country for heart care. This prestigious award by the American College of Cardiology comes from our commitment to providing the highest quality of care, from general cardiology to complex surgeries and the latest technology. Nationally recognized heart care right here. OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute.
All right, pay attention. Welcome to Fandom 101. We'll cover the tools of the trade, from foam fingers in the wave to the super secret wave. How's that for a course description? Lesson 1, your game starts long before the opening whistle, so arrive prepared. 2, if something piques your interest, raise your hand. And 3, work in groups. NCAA championships, attendance is encouraged, passion is mandatory. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.
Behind every Wesleyan success story is a community, one made of alumni and friends devoted to creating opportunities for the next generation of Titans. When you support the Wesleyan...
Start of the second 10 at the Shark. Matt Sosler, Kirill Anastasov. The Titans with an 18-point advantage over North Park. And Sawyer White has sole possession of second place in the career steals ranks for Illinois Wesleyan, passing Sidney Shanks in that first quarter. Only one player to take down the Titans. On the offensive end, shooting 53.3%, 8 of 15 from the field. North Park just 4 of 16 from the floor. Huber, who missed most of the first quarter with foul trouble, picked up her second early, is still kept off the board.
Huber, of course, another one of those players with history on the line. Probably not tonight if we're talking about mathematical possibilities, but she will be looking at that scoring record as the regular season winds down.
Chasing Tracy Butler as it sits right now. She's 44 from matching, 45 from becoming the Titans' all-time leading scorer. Taken away by Bardick. Good chance for Huber to get on the board. She does.
What a magnificent pass that is from Bardick. She's averaging 2.6 assists, but the ones she does make are truly spectacular.
Another straitjacket trap from the Titans. 3.
Three-point shooting continues to be an issue for the visitors.
Now 1 of 6. Powers long, tapped out. You could say it's the same on both ends in the early going. Third 3 of the trip. The Titans 0 for 3 from deep.
And the Vikings lucky to get away unscathed there. They'll be disappointed to have allowed 3 open threes in quick succession.
It hasn't been the best metric for the Titans this year, shooting just over 30%. Abundez gets the friendly roll on the campaign entering today. But the important stat is that they found a way to win despite that percentage. Tapped out of bounds. It stays with Illinois Wesleyan. Sarah Bali in.
Another pinpoint pass there from Bardick.
Another stat to look at is Lauren Huber has hit double digits for points every single game this season except for 1. She usually is off to a fast start as Powers lays it in. However, with the 2 early fouls, Coach Smith being wise and taking her out.
And no use pushing Huber to the maximum in a game like this where Wesleyan are heavily favored. They've stamped their authority in the early goings.
Peterson with the 2. Huber stripped by Abundez. Abundez, the graduate transfer out of Rockford University, completing her final year on the north side of Chicago. Averaging 10 points entering today. Long. Still only 1 field goal for the leading scorer for the Vikings today.
There's just something about facing the Titans that causes Long to lose her grip on the game.
Count it, and the foul from Sarah Bali. Check that. Did they call a charge? They did, so it looks like Patty Carmichael, who was the trail official on that given play, called a charge. The lead official, Leanne Hall, gestured for a defensive foul, and Carmichael's ruling took precedent, and now they got to go to the book to correct it, considering it is a foul call. That is one of the few plays that has to be taken care of right away.
And we can see the delight from the Vikings bench to get that rather fortunate call, but opportunity wasted here. Ball's back with Wesleyan.
Ashanti Bradley gives it right back. Bradley, the Valparaiso, Indiana product, North Central University transfer up in Minnesota. Knutson heads to the scorer's table. Flip and denied by Abundez. Titans with a second opportunity. Eight on the shot clock. Huber. Bali at the 11th hour. Got it.
An absolute perfection from Bali, who made 2 key passes in the lead up to that basket as well.
Her first deuce of the day. Taken away by White.
This is exactly the sort of thing that makes White such an asset to every team.
And
Bali with 4 quick points.
Timeout called. Bali has the last 4 for the green and white. A quick 30 seconds and then back to the Shirk on IWSports.com.
Berg drives one in the air to center field. This is down for a base hit. The Titans are going to win the ball game. Ethan Berg walks it off, and the Titans storm all the way back with 9 runs in their last 2 innings. They win it tonight, 13-12.
Back at the Shirk Center midway through the second, Illinois Wesleyan leading 36-14 over North Park. Sarah Bali, usually the practice DJ for the Titan women, and with this game being moved up 24 hours, a snowstorm rolling into town, have a little bit of a YD3 moment. Athletic Director Mike Wagner pumping the 1s and 2s inside the Shirk Center on this Tuesday night. Matt Sosler alongside Kirill Anastasov, and want to give a shout out to Mike Wagner, who does a ton for Titan Athletics, and it's only getting to the busy time here. He'd say every time of the year is busy, but getting to crossover between winter and spring with 2 perennial basketball programs. All our gratitude to Mike Wagner, not only this time of year, but during all times of year, as the foul's called against the Titans.
He's certainly contributing to the typically festive atmosphere here inside the Shirk Center. Obviously, attendance affected by the rescheduling, nonetheless a great atmosphere in this arena.
Ashanti Bradley at the line, shooting just her 3rd free throw of the season. Perfect 3 of 3 in that regard. With 8 to 10 inches inspected in some areas around the CCIW footprint over the next 24 hours, and given the ice storm that happened last week that caused some travel trouble for some CCIW programs, games are all over the place this week, and we'll break it down later in the game in terms of who's playing when, how it'll impact travel, momentum, and everything involved, as we had to, believe it or not, the penultimate weekend of conference play this upcoming Saturday.
It was all important 13th round being played over 3 days. Uncharacteristic, but as far as the top of the standings is concerned, both teams in action tonight.
10-second violation forced by the Titans. Feeney in for Mallory Powers. Feeney with 3 minutes so far today. Martha Lippick with 2.
Powers heads to the bench, having done a little bit of everything. 4 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist to her name.
Inside, Knutson, count it, and the foul.
Out of a near impossible angle. Excellent work from Knutson.
8 points for the Maryville native. Teresa Morrissey checks in for the Vikings. The 5'11 sophomore from Chicago went to Lincoln Park High School. Replacing Caroline Long, the Kokomo, Indiana native. Kokomo very popular in terms of basketball, as is the rest of the state of Indiana, as the three-point play is complete.
Knutson hitting 9 points for the evening. She's only been averaging 6.7 so far this season. Tonight, making the most of her extra time on the court. She's been prolific in attack.
Had 14 against Carthage. Travel called, too many steps from Keskovich. Kokomo, a nice town. Got a really nice baseball field right in the heart of downtown along the river. Your classic small town Indiana feel. Feeney with a lane and another. Count it. And a foul for the Titans. It's on Morrissey. Her first, team second, as the hometown product heads to the stripe. Feeney last year 4 of 8 from the free throw line, tapped out of bounds, and it stays with Illinois Wesleyan, leading 41-16.
It just seems like amidst an imperfect game, you can say everything is going right. Every 50-50 is going the Titans' way, and they're making the most of it.
Still shooting north of 50% today. Huber blocked by Abundez. That's her second denial of the day. Palmer with a triple. Got it.
No mistake.
Nine points for Palmer today. Bardick leads the way for the green and white with 12. Tie up. The arrow favors North Park.
You mentioned Bardick's 12 points. She's also contributed 2 steals. Really doing it all on both sides of the court tonight.
One of the first games in quite some time that we've seen the deep balance that the Titans are known for. We're still in the first half. Tapped out of bounds. Titans get it.
Abundez, who has been very active both on defense and offense, making the mistake there.
It's the 15th turnover for the visitors. Huber splits 2.
Narrowly avoiding yet another turnover there, but right away that ball gets away from Keene.
Coach Ayersman talked about the pressure and how Carthage did such a good job on Saturday of breaking it. North Park on the other side of the coin has struggled immensely against, you could say, the run and jump, but I've seen a lot of the run and jump over the last 2 years, and I'd say in terms of pressure, this is maybe 75 to 80% of the run and jump. It's like a boa constrictor where if you see the opposition struggling, you're just going to press harder. Second tray ball, off side iron, and Huber
just taking no chances.
Timeout called with 4 minutes left. Breaking down that R&J a little bit more. If you're an opponent, the last thing you want to do is show stress. Because when you show stress, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter and is nearly impossible to get out of. But when I talk about the 75 to 80% capacity, for lack of a better word, that's to start in terms of the pressure you're facing from the trap to start. And so it's just a sign of what Illinois Wesleyan can do going forward. Now leading by 30. They put up 58 against the Vikings in December in the opening 20. Still a possibility with 4:05 to play in the first half.
Yeah, quieter second half in that game, as was to be expected, and I'm sure we can expect something similar here tonight. But for North Park, in a game like this, you have to come out brave, going for shots, putting up shots, and that resistance lasted only 2 or 3 minutes today for them.
Hirschberger rattles down, but not through. Knutson, no foul.
Ball straight back to the Titans, as has been a trend throughout this game.
Sarabali, Johnny on the spot. 8 to shoot. Feeney with room.
Huber with the offensive rebound and perfect on the follow-up.
She has 6 points to go along with 7 rebounds. So all of a sudden, after having almost no crooked numbers in her stat line in the first quarter, she's on double-double watch.
And it wouldn't be the first nor the last time we'll see that from Lauren Huber. Averaging 16 points a game and 7.8 rebounds.
Triple from Jocelyn Shamus goes.
An excellent shot, uncharacteristic from North Park.
Knutson can't answer. That breaks up a 3-minute scoring drought for the Vikings. Tapped out of bounds. Goes the other way. Titans were on a 12-0 run prior to that three-pointer.
Vikings looking to start a little mini run of their own here. Put a dent in this very large first half lead that the Titans have built up.
Try to make the halftime score a little closer.
Give themselves some motivation to come out and play that second half close to 100%. Of course, for a team like North Park in the season, they've had a win against the number 4 team in the country. Never a high possibility of it happening.
Steal from White. She takes it the distance.
Absolutely beautiful.
Her first bucket of the night. Lippick at the scorer's bench. The Titans hit the half-century mark.
What a testament it is to White's quality that on a night where she doesn't score points until the end of the first half, she's still contributing so much defensively.
Hirschberger slow to get up, and given that North Park was on offense and there was no advantage, the officials call timeout. So Hirschberger out, Catherine Keene in. We'll keep you updated on Hirschberger's status as we know more, currently with 5 points to her name.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but playing for a team that's only managed 19 in the bulk of the first half, Hirschberger pivotal to them putting up any sort of fight.
She's their leading scorer tonight. Luigi Lamb into the game for the Titans, the Hong Kong native. Hit a buzzer beater at the end of the second quarter up on the north side in December.
By the looks of it, she'll have an opportunity to do the same here.
Vikings turn it over again. That's the 18th turnover in the first half.
And that statistic is where this game was lost or has been lost by the Vikings.
Hasn't been too clean for the green and white. They have 10, but a lot of those came in the later stages of the first quarter. Lamb a triple. Bingo.
And no mistake. Lamb obviously getting limited minutes amidst a stacked lineup that the Titans have had this season, but wasting no time here.
Played briefly in the Carthage game, picked up 2 quick fouls. And Lippick, a nuisance on Abundez, second effort, no luck, third chance. White comes away with the rock. Morrissey 0 for 2 on that trip alone. And now we start to see North Park give the Titans a taste of their own medicine. Bali! Rebounded by Abundez.
No back-to-back threes for the Titans. Lamb, of course, the statistic influenced by her sporadic minutes, but she does lead the team in terms of three-point percentage. She's just boosted that statistic with the triple she scored in the last attack.
11 of 19 for the freshman. One of the pieces that Coach Smith is really excited about building on. Free ball. Can't go from Shemis. Action on the floor. Bali gets it back. And a foul called against Keene. We haven't seen a ton of fouls today. Unlike the first quarter where the Titans were in the bonus for the back end of that frame. Looks like neither team will get into the penalty unless we get a ton of physicality over the last 37 seconds.
Which we shouldn't anticipate, especially given the scoreline.
Only 4 free throws in the second quarter for both sides. Titans pass up the 2 for 1. Bali fouled on her way up. No such thing as announcer's jinx.
Vikings doing everything they can to limit the Titans as compared to the first half of the return game in Chicago earlier this season.
It's on Shemis. It's her first. Bali, her first trip to the line, shooting now just shy of 75%.
She makes up for it.
So the Vikings can hang on to the last shot if they're allowed to. I usually say if they choose. But with how tight this Titan defense has been,
should come
they
as
have to
no
work
surprise,
for it.
Yeah. Looking to break 20 points in this first half.
Offensive foul.
It won't happen, it seems. This has been the perfect first half for Maya Smith and the Titans. Maybe not so much statistically, but obviously in terms of bouncing back.
4 seconds. with 3. Sawyer White beats the buzzer.
What a way to end the half.
Second buzzer beater in the second quarter against North Park for Illinois Wesleyan, and they almost matched their total from December in February, leading the Vikings 57-19 at the intermission. We'll break down an exhilarating first half for the green and white when we come back on IWSports.com.
OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute has been named one of the top hospital systems in the country for heart care. This prestigious award by the American College of Cardiology comes from our commitment to providing the highest quality of care, from general cardiology to complex surgeries and the latest technology. Nationally recognized heart care right here. OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute.
Halftime in Bloomington, Illinois Wesleyan, their second least amount of first half points allowed. With 19, they gave up 15 against Augustana in January, and they lead 57-19 over North Park. Matt Sossler alongside Kirill Anastasov. Taking a look at some numbers from the opening 20. For Illinois Wesleyan, with that white buzzer beater, they're shooting an even 50%, 20 of 40 from the field, 4 of 14 from behind the three-point line. North Park on the offensive end has been the other story. 7 of 27, that's nearly 26%, 2 of 10 from behind the three-point arc. Leading scorers for the green and white, Ava Bardick with 12, a pair of Titans with 9, and for the Vikings, Aaliyah Hirschberger with 5, exited in the second quarter with injury. The Titans started the game without a field goal for the first 2.5 minutes. And so, Carol, how important was it for the Titans to bounce back following that cold spell over the initial first few minutes?
Well, it was all important. Of course, those are the worrying signs in games like this where you have a heavily favored team and a massive underdog competing. It's those opening few minutes where, for a split second, the outsider believes, given obviously that they start the game in the right rhythm, that they can make an historic upset. And for Wesleyan, it was very important to quell any doubt over the outcome of this game within the first few minutes. We mentioned how the second quarter has been pivotal for them throughout this season. Today, they ended any doubt in the first quarter. Despite some mistakes, the second quarter was where they truly took off. And I think that's a testament to how desperate, how committed they are to recovering from the loss against Carthage.
A paper airplane contest, our halftime entertainment at the Shark. The objective is to get it as close to midcourt as possible. Seeing some solid throws, and now academic All-American Quinn Clifford looks like he's the judge on this, and what a fitting judge. Academic All-American, prominent golfer on the Titan men's golf team, so if you're going to get someone to judge who's the closest to the pin, he's got to be the guy.
He knows a thing or two about accuracy, whether it's in the classroom or on the green.
And now we wait to see who won. Saw some intriguing participants. Someone who is also known for his marksmanship, Titan men's basketball guard Nick Roper, partaking. However, he just picked up his paper airplane and walked off, so I don't think he had the best of luck in that contest. Especially when he's used to shooting a basketball. you don't get the same aerodynamics that you
A bit
do
lighter.
on a paper airplane. You have to zip it. Like if there were any members of the baseball team here, which I think there are, I think they'd have the best accuracy because of how you got to flick it and get it to fly with the appropriate velocity, and it looks like we might have a winner.
And the winner of the paper airplane toss, barely, Sweet Shane Miller. And also, David Feeney.
So a couple of winners in the paper airplane toss. Titan men's basketball senior Shane Miller victorious, and for Shane, along with the rest of the senior class, both for the Titan men and the Titan women, they will be honored on Saturday for Senior Day. And Coach Smith and Coach Rose both hit on it in Titan Table Talk on how this will be perhaps one of the hardest senior days that they've been a part of. Senior Day is always extremely rewarding, but also a realization for coaches across all sports. And I'm not going to spill too much on Senior Day for both teams in terms of how much these senior classes have bent to their respective programs, but it's a lot, and I encourage you to tune in on Saturday just before 2 o'clock for the women's ceremony, and then the men's ceremony will take place after the women's game. But it's going to be a very emotional day on Saturday, knowing that it's the last regular season game for the women and the second to last regular season game for a deep Titan men's senior class.
What a crop of players we'll be honoring here on Saturday. Truly a golden generation for both the men's and women's teams.
We'll take another timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look around the CCIW with the Titans up big in Bloomington on IWSports.com.
OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute has been named one of the top hospital systems in the country for heart care. This prestigious award by the American College of Cardiology comes from our commitment to providing the highest quality of care, from general cardiology to complex surgeries and the latest technology. Nationally recognized heart care right here. OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute.
What is proven science? At Just Thrive, it's about best-in-class clinical research. It's about supplements that empower users to control their health. These are the elements that make up the foundation of Just Thrive. Our proven, clinically backed, proprietary probiotic removes the guesswork from supplement selection because we've done the work for you to ensure that you're getting the best product possible, empowering you to take back control of your health from a leader in the digestive, immune, and emotional health spaces.
Have it, please. Halftime at the Shirk, 57-19, Titans over the Vikings. Given the winter weather, the CCIW, which is usually a pretty synchronized conference in terms of scheduling games, is all over the place throughout this week of play. There's only one other game going on, and for the Titans' sake, it's the game that matters the most. Carroll with a very narrow advantage, 50-47 over North Central with 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. We'll monitor the progress of that game as it rolls along, but as you see the standings, Carroll was able to gain a game on the Titans on Saturday, and if the Cardinals are able to stick around and potentially pull ahead, then we're right back to where we were, with Saturday and today being just 2 days crossed off the calendar, and the Titans in a commanding spot for the conference title. But right now, Carroll, the focus for Illinois Wesleyan is control what you can control. It really doesn't matter what Carroll does on their side. Other scores from around the conference. As of now, Elmhurst and Milliken will play tomorrow night. That's still up in the air given the near foot of snow that's supposed to blanket the area. And then on Thursday, Wheaton will host Augustana. That a 5:30 p.m. tip-off before we head into the weekend. The conference slate will get a lot simpler following tonight, as the Titans, if they can hold on to their large lead, they will lock up a first-round bye in the conference tournament, and then depending on what Carroll does, they cannot lock up a 1 seed, but they can certainly get some extra insurance. Another timeout, and then we'll preview the third quarter on IWSports.com.
Why is Illinois Wesleyan the #1 school in Illinois for jobs? Maybe it's because we're the AND University. That's right, A-N-D. And. Here you can explore the arts and study in a pre-professional program. Double major and play a sport. Do an internship and study abroad. Your opportunities are endless. Set yourself apart with a degree from Illinois Wesleyan.
All right, pay attention. Welcome to Fandom 101. We'll cover the tools of the trade from foam fingers in the wave to the super secret wave. How's that for a course description? Lesson 1, your game starts long before the opening whistle, so arrive prepared. 2, if something piques your interest, raise your hand. And 3, work in groups. NCAA championships, attendance is encouraged, passion is mandatory. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.
Waning moments of halftime at the Shirk Center with the Titan women leading 57-19 over North Park. Halftime and this game broadcast presented by Will Square Capital. Special thanks to them for sponsoring Titan Athletics broadcasts, especially men's and women's basketball as well as football throughout the academic year. We wouldn't be here without them. So again, our extensive thanks to Will Square Capital. Matt Sossler alongside Kirill Anastasov. We'll start off with Illinois Wesleyan. If you're the Titans, you're obviously nursing a very large lead. However, like in any sport, momentum carries. Momentum is active throughout the course of the season. How do you keep your foot on the gas in the rest of this game?
Well, you find motivation in the little things. If this was any other game this season, if it was any other context, I would say Wesleyan can afford to relax, take a step back in the second half. It's what you typically do with a lead this big at halftime against an opponent such as North Park, against whom you're heavily favored. But in this situation, they're coming off their first loss of the season. They want to get as many points on the board as they possibly can. Obviously, there will be some rotation. We won't see the typical starting five out for much of the second half. That being said, those remaining players in the squad are still very, very gifted basketball players. And we saw a glimpse of that in the first half. They will be making the most of this opportunity. Their mind won't be on the score. It'll be on how they can stake their claim for a more important spot in the rotation over the coming weeks, the all-important last few weeks of the regular season and, of course, postseason action in the CCIW and the national tournament. So I'm sure we will see a more attacking second half than, for example, in the game between North Park and Illinois Wesleyan earlier this year.
Coach Smith preaches the importance of the white team. Players 9 through the end of the bench there, and what they're able to do during practice and how they're always ready. The Wheaton game a few weeks back, the team was battling illness left, right, and center, and she preached to the entire team in practice, I don't need anyone to be heroes. I need you to do your job. That was back when, at that point in time, you were looking at potentially 4 starting players being 100% and good to go for that ball game. They wound up having 7 for that contest, but it's the point of how deep this team is, and because of how strong it is, you have a lot of talent that doesn't get a ton of minutes. Flipping the side to North Park, you've had a tough day. The game's gotten moved up 24 hours for an underdog. That is never easy. You lose a day of scout, you lose a day of rest against a very hectic Titan offense and defense, and then you get stuck in traffic on your way down. You only get 25 minutes to warm up. How do you try and get a positive out of tonight?
I think it's all important for Coach Radenkovic and her staff to emphasize that this second half is a clean slate. Think of it as a new game, essentially, because that score difference, it's going to be near insurmountable. It would take nothing short of a miracle for North Park to win this game. And if they continue to think and focus on that score in this moment, they are not going to play their best basketball in the second half. They're going to be suffocated by the stress of being down by so much. Instead, they need to shoot more freely. They need to focus on the intricacies, not making so many offensive mistakes, not giving up the ball so much. Turnovers. They want to decrease their statistical difficulties. They want to improve the little things because a win is close to being out of the picture. So it's about the little things now for North Park, coming away from this feeling that they gave 100% despite the outcome. It was never going to be easy against the number 1 team in the conference, the number 4 team in the nation.
Titans with their largest halftime lead of the season at 38 points. Per usual, Maya Smith goes with the first 5 to start the second half, something that she's done all but once this year.
And realistically, this sort of arrangement can put the game beyond any doubt within a few minutes.
Ready to rock and roll. In half number 2, Titans begin with possession. White, who hit that buzzer beater to end the second quarter.
What a night for her. Buzzer beater moving up in the all-time steals list.
5 points, 4 steals. Titans turn it over. That's their 11th, and they always have takeaways from wins, losses, no matter how big or how small, and that certainly is going to be a point of emphasis for Coach Smith's squad.
North Park amidst 10 turnovers for the Titans, managing just 19 points in the first half will be a disappointment for them, and it's something that they're going to try and focus on improving in the second half. Good start.
3 for Aaliyah.
Hirschberger back from injury with a triple.
And immediately showing just how crucial she is to this team.
3 of 8. Second straight turnover for the Titans, and it's their inlet passing that has been a little hesitant.
It's moments like this where you're just all that much more grateful for how well you played in the first half. You can afford a few mistakes. You can afford a bumpy start to the third quarter.
It's also about keeping your foot on the gas.
Long, exploring her options.
Forced way out of her element. Knutson with a freeway.
And there's a quick 2. First points of the second half for Illinois Wesleyan.
For Katie Knutson, that's the 7th time this year she's been in double figures, 35th of her career, with 11 points tonight.
Of course, provided she stays on the floor for the rest of the half or for the majority of it, that number could get a lot higher.
Gets the rebound. Powers. Got it.
Converts on the open 3.
Her first triple of the day. Titans 5th.
That gets Powers to 7 points for the evening.
Mentioned that she's chasing 1,000 to reach that margin in the minimum amount of games left. Peterson, no answer. She's got to average between 11 and 12 a game based on the minimum amount of games played.
This ball rolled out.
Bardick, back to back.
And first points of the second half for Ava Bardick, who led the team in scoring in the first half. She's up to 15 for the evening.
No matter the situation, it's always good to see the triples fall.
And for Ava Bardick, she, of course, produced the highest single-game high in terms of points this season against Elmhurst, notching 26.
Titans force another turnover as Olivia Reed checks in for Caroline Long. It's a little bit unconventional for both coaches in terms of roster management with this, I guess from a coaching standpoint, you'd call this a Saturday, considering you have the extra day of rest between games. From the free throw line, on fire is Mallory Powers.
This is the sort of start to the second half the Titans were hoping for. There was a minute or so there where they looked uncertain, couple of turnovers, couple of missed shots. But now they are once again firmly in the driver's seat, expanding upon that massive halftime lead.
Continuing to build on a 10-0 run, taken away by Powers. 2-on-1, no issue.
Make that 12.
And a timeout called with 6:53 left in the third. Like you alluded to, the Titans in the first quarter did not score a field goal for 2.5 minutes. In the second half, they turned the ball over in less than ideal ways on back-to-back possessions, but then they're able to start clicking.
Yeah, it's crucial to bounce back from little mistakes like that. And at the end of the day, when they look at once they review the statistics, they'll see those little anomalies, those little imperfections that need to be fine-tuned before the postseason. However, in this moment, the important thing on the court is to not make that same mistake 2 times, 3 times, and they didn't. They bounced back well. They're on a 12-point scoring run here, making the most of every minute that each of these players gets on the court tonight.
Continuing with our milestone list, Lauren Huber has notched her 200th career assist. What an exclusive club. 1,000 points, 800 rebounds, and 200 assists for the Lombard native.
She has already cemented herself as one of the greats of this program, and she is seriously knocking on the door of the status of the greatest player to grace the Titans.
That's not an easy phrase to tag on to a player, considering the history of this program. And Huber today, just 6 points in 10 minutes, got into some foul trouble in the first half, and now considering time and score, Coach Smith start to take a look at rest and keeping players out of harm's way. Bundez denied by the team leader in blocks, Ava Bardick.
Bardick doing a little bit of everything today.
Peterson forced off balance. Powers ran out of room. Those are the type of passes the Titans would like to clean up as Huber heads to the scorer's table. Reed can't finish.
Sawyer White looking inside.
Knudsen had Reed flat-footed, defers. Powers too short.
Definitely keep an eye on White tonight, other than the fact that she moved into second place on the all-time steals list. She also has registered 6 assists tonight.
Almost had another one there. Peterson taken away by Bardick. That's her 3rd steal of the night.
Bardick, a dominant force on both sides of the court tonight. And every night, but especially in this game against North Park.
Palmer, count it, and another on the house.
Opportunity to turn that into a 3-point play. Made all the difference in the first half, particularly in the second quarter.
She's in double figures now with 11. That's the 3rd Titan to reach that plateau. Bardick, Palmer, and Katie Knudsen. Mallory Powers knocking on the door with 9. Approaching the midpoint of the 3rd. Titans have yet to reach triple digits this year.
Lauren Huber returns for the Titans, replacing Kate Palmer.
With 72 points halfway through this 3rd quarter.
And also keep an eye on the North Park score. I'll mention the stat I have in my head once we reach the end of the quarter. But the Titans just doing it all so far today. Bardick adds on.
What a night it's been for Ava Bardick.
That's 17.
On 80% shooting, mind you, a number that's gone up actually with that conversion.
Reed, no whistle. Abundez. And North Park has been cold over the last 5 minutes. Skip pass.
Points are few and far between for the Vikings. Only 3 in this quarter so far.
And the Titans recognizing time and score in a half-court set. Powers wanted the run dribble pickup. 5 seconds. Knutson. Shot clock violation.
Good defending by the Vikings. Something that we haven't been able to say much tonight.
Titans outscoring the Vikings 17-3 since halftime. And that takes us to the media timeout. We'll take it with them. Illinois Wesleyan has grown their 38-point lead by 14, and they lead 74-22. That's a 52-point margin on IWSports.com.
What is proven science? At Just Thrive, it's about best-in-class clinical research. It's about supplements that empower users to control their health. These are the elements that make up the foundation of Just Thrive. Our proven, clinically backed, proprietary probiotic removes the guesswork from supplement selection because we've done the work for you to ensure that you're getting the best product possible, empowering you to take back control of your health from a leader in the digestive, immune, and emotional health spaces.
Quite the stat line tonight. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. '78's biggest win season of all time.
Titans lead by 52 with still 15 minutes of basketball left. Their largest margin of victory as a program was 78, a 105-27 win versus Elms on December the 28th of 2002. Matt Sossler alongside Kirill Anastasov.
I mean, the fact, Matt, that we're even mentioning that mark tonight, again, speaking to the quality of this program, as the Vikings notch their first points in a while.
First points in over 5 minutes. Reed on Alyssa Epps into the game for the first time, the Montini Catholic alum. Inside to Huber. Foul called, and Huber heads to the line for a chance at point number 7 and point number 8. That's the other thing to take away from today's game is that the Titans have put up 74. That's just 7 shy of the amount that they put up on Saturday. And Huber, at 6 points and 8 rebounds, that's nothing to scoff at. But
not at all, no.
She hasn't produced a ton.
And we don't say that in a disparaging way. In fact, that's an excellent sign for the Titans. 10 players amongst the scorers tonight.
Second end. And the critical thing for Huber is that she reaches double figures, does it for the 21st time this year.
She's on double-double watch, of course, now at 8 points and 8 rebounds.
She checks out. And now the question is she done for the day? That's completely in the deck of cards.
Wouldn't be a surprise, not a necessity for her nor for the team that she be on the court any longer. Although I'm sure, being the fierce competitor that she is,
also if you take a look at the Titan bench, we'll give you a close-up as Sophie Feeney finishes. Based on how it looks now, it looks like the rotation, once Sarah Bali takes a seat, which will probably be at the end of the quarter, the rotation will be through.
Absolutely, and what an opportunity.
Because the bench has shifted where the rotation is on the left side, the rest of the team is on the right side.
A hint of what's to come for the Titans.
That's a clear indicator, unless Coach Smith decides at the start of the fourth quarter to go with rotation, which is entirely possible. Usually when you see him sit on the left side, their work is done. Foul on Epps gives North Park a fresh shot clock. Looking at minute totals, much needed. 20 for White, 19 for Bardick, 18 for Powers, 17 for Palmer, just 12 for Huber. And that's the other thing, 8 and 8 in 12 minutes.
I mean, again, even on a night where she's not necessarily been the star of the show, lighting up that stat sheet, putting in the work discreetly.
Hirschberger is fouled. Knutson, 11 in 16 minutes. And then Sarah Bali, 5 points in 15 minutes and counting.
Bali ignited in the second quarter in particular.
A 46-10 run over the last 15 minutes and 11 seconds. We've seen some runs here at the Shirk Center, safe to say. However, this is the largest margin of run this year. At plus 36.
One knockdown to cut the lead by a point.
Epps turns it over and fouls long. That's Epps' second foul.
Epps will be hoping to bounce back in the few minutes that she's getting tonight.
Freshman out of Berkeley, Illinois. It's the second half, and given the score, foul trouble is a non-factor. Players are going to play no matter what. But this is a group against Wheaton that played 7 solid minutes of basketball in the fourth quarter. And they're looking to put forth a similar performance here today.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You relish the opportunity to get out on the court.
Hirschberger, too much. Epps with her third foul.
Hirschberger, despite that miss, still leads her team in scoring with 9. No North Park players hitting double digits yet.
Liv Myers replaces Epps. A sophomore out of Elmwood, Illinois.
She'll be looking to become the 11th Titan to get her name on the score sheet.
Sarah Bali with the pick. A double dribble. Called on Bali. That's the 16th turnover for the Titans. And now we see Peyton Jacob head in place of Bali. And with that, I think the rotation has clocked out.
Peyton Jacob, of course, junior out of St. Joseph. One of the many Illinois natives in this Wesleyan squad, the exception to the rule being Luigi Lamb.
It was a squad that last year was comprised of entirely Prairie State products. Titans in the penalty, so North Park will shoot for the remaining $1:28 of the third quarter. Hirschberger seeking double figures. She does.
And in today's era of collegiate basketball, boasting a team that has entirely or mostly local products is quite the achievement.
It also shows the depth of basketball in the state of Illinois, considering the recruiting competition that the Titans have. Not just in-state, but out-of-state as well. Lamb passes up a 3. Lippick with room to work. Got it.
And she's finding the basket.
She's got 4 points today.
2 field goal attempts, both have gone down.
3 off her career high of 7. Responds with a foul. Mackenzie Huber, the younger sister of Lauren, checks in. For Sophia Feeney. I'd expect, barring a sub here and a sub there with Alyssa Epps, that this is the final 5 for Illinois Wesleyan, looking to chew up the last 11 minutes of this game.
And the fact that they have this depth to produce this high-quality 5 at the end of a game like this, again, speaking to the depth that this team has.
Titans up by a mile. Mid-ranger.
Doesn't go.
No foul called on the rebound. Titans retain. Lamb with room.
No good. But we see the intensity with which the Titans are playing. They are dying for every ball on this court, regardless of the result.
With the tap, stays with the Vikings. And that's exactly what Mackenzie does. She is all over the place.
Obviously, big shoes to fill for her as far as familial connections are concerned, but she's writing her own history here at Wesleyan.
Long on Myers.
And the poor shooting night continues for Long.
Just 1 of 8 from the field. Usually at 48% from the floor. Long checks out. Bella Cabrera is in the game for North Park, the sophomore out of Maine East High School. Central Suburban League product. Lamb, a triple. Little strong. Foul on Mackenzie Huber. 94 feet from the basket sends Cabrales to the free throw line.
2 seconds remaining here in this third quarter.
That's a play you try to avoid. With 2 seconds left. On the other end. Cabrales just 1 of 1 from the stripe this year, make it 1 of 2. Maine East High School faces off against some really tough competition in basketball. Niles North, Highland Park High School, Deerfield High School, and that is how the third quarter ends. If you're a fan of geography in the state of Illinois, stick around for the fourth quarter with the Titans leading 80-28 over their in-state foe North Park on IWSports.com.
Why is Illinois Wesleyan the #1 school in Illinois for jobs? Maybe it's because we're the AND University. That's right, A-N-D. And here you can explore the arts and study in a pre-professional program, double major, and play a sport, do an internship, and study abroad. Your opportunities are endless. Set yourself apart with a degree from Illinois Wesleyan.
Berg drives one in the air to center field. This is down for a base hit. The Titans are going to win the ball game. Ethan Berg walks it off, and the Titans storm all the way back with 9 runs in their last 2 innings. They win it tonight, 13-12.
I'm looking for like history. Start of the fourth quarter at the Shirk Center with the Titans leading 80-28. Matt Sasser alongside Kirill Anastasov. Same 5 for the Titans that they ended the third quarter with a chance to make some history in this fourth quarter on the defensive side of the basketball. Mackenzie Huber almost gets it started. Morrissey, tad short, Lippick with the board. Jacob off the heel. Lamb keeps it alive.
Defensive rebound collected there by Lamb.
Second go, almost a third chance, but Abundez snares the Brock.
Those 2 misses lower the team's shooting percentage to 51.8. Nonetheless, a much better mark than in the last game.
Abundez thought about it. Walled off by Lamb. It stays with the Vikings. Hirschberger.
Rolled out for a 3, and it's good.
Something the Vikings desperately need. They match their total from the third within the first 5 minutes of the quarter. Clock issue, so the Titans get it out of bounds. Since 2008-2009, the least amount of points allowed by Illinois Wesleyan is 34. That was in 2019 against Rolls-Holman.
That 3-pointer just now making a dent in any plans for a historic defensive night. Still a possibility, though.
Forces the Titans into lockdown D for the remaining 8:40 of the game. Lippick with 6.
She's also picked up 2 rebounds to go with those 6 points.
Shea Bowen into the game for North Park out of Evanston, Illinois. Foul called on Abundez. Her third. Talk about geography. You got Maine East in the Central Suburban League. You got Evanston in the Central Suburban League. Highland Park High School, from a women's basketball perspective, has produced some great products. Addie Budnick, who's on her way to a stellar career at Richmond, potentially All-Atlantic 10. Sydney Ignafo, a great few years at Edgewood College up in Madison. On the women's side, you look over to the men's side, Central Suburban League, absolutely stacked. Nogel Eastern went to Evanston. Brandon Lieb, currently on the Illinois State Redbirds. He's a Deerfield grad.
Yeah, it's a region that time and time again produces great basketball players, and particularly right now.
Aquan Smart to Niles North, and I'd be remiss as Lippick gets fouled. Might be away from the basketball, actually. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention one of the best out of the Central Suburban League, Mr. Overtime, Mr. Rebound himself, Marco Anderson of the Titan men. And Josh Fridman as well, out of Glenbrook North. John Shire, coach of the Duke Blue Devils, also a Spartan grad. Out of bounds, goes the Vikings' way. Very good basketball in the northern burbs of Chicago.
And it's shown time and time again in the IHSA playoffs, which have been ruled by suburban teams over the last few years.
You got that little stretch along the lakefront, 294, that corridor. You take a little bit west of that, you know, Lincolnshire with Stevenson, where Ava Bardick went. And then you had east, count it in the foul. Bowen heads to the line.
An opportunity to avoid that historic number here.
It would match it. It was still 7:06. Free throw. Too much. Bowen now 0 of 3 from the line. Tie up. Wesleyan has the arrow. It's that area of basketball. 294, a little bit west of that. Like I-53 that turns into 290. You take that area east to the lake and you go down to I-80. That's your bread and butter of Illinois basketball, at least in the Chicago region. And then you have some competitors down here like Normal Community. The Myers gets the bucket.
And we get a nice mixture of high-quality athletes at these Central Illinois schools.
I do got to say, they had the McLean County tournament here a couple weeks ago, and there is some talent on all those squads. Yeah, Eureka winning the tournament on a buzzer beater on the women's side, or the girls' side in high school. Huber, just a tad. She's aiming for her first collegiate field goal.
What a moment that would be for the younger Huber.
He had a free throw earlier this season. Luigi Lamb heads to check in.
And realistically, we see basketball talent come from anywhere. Obviously, there are areas where the stars are more condensed, and it has a lot to do with population. But every once in a while, we get a talent from a less established athletic area. Thinking of Mallory Powers, of course, out of Amboy, a legend for her high school program.
Little scoreboard update. North Central has a 73-71 lead over Carroll with 10 seconds left in the fourth. So we'll keep you up to date as that game rolls along with the Titans up big here in Bloomington. And I'll explain the weight that carries should the Cardinals hang on to the lead. However, I'm not sure who has the basketball. Let's look at the play-by-play here. I'll pull some Kevin Harlan. Julia Loker just made a 3 for Carroll to cut it down to 73-71. So North Central has the basketball with now 10 seconds left.
That game, of course, huge implications for the regular season title race and hosting rights.
Epps, with the shot clock expiring, just a hair long. It's also huge in terms of stories, and I'm a huge simp for stories. I love a good story. We had a great story happen here against Carroll, now 74-71 North Central.
Just a reminder of how unpredictable the CCIW can be. Just when it seems like the top teams have established themselves as the driving force, to get 2 upsets potentially in short succession speaks to the depth of the conference.
And Megan McClure at the free throw line nails both. It's 75-71 with 10 seconds left up in Waukesha. But what does this mean for the Titans? Assuming this score holds with 5 minutes left and the Titans up 84-35, and if North Central can hang on up 4 with 10 seconds left in a timeout, it means that the Titans can lock up hosting rights and a share of the regular season title on Senior Day against their geographic rival in Milliken as Feeney misses the 3 ball.
How can you not be romantic
for
about
this
sports?
senior class? Epps, just a tad wide. It's just everything. It's everything coming together.
Certainly that would mean the world. And of course, that outcome, should that result hold in the North Central Carroll game, it would effectively nullify, from a conference standings perspective, the defeat that Illinois Wesleyan suffered on Saturday.
Let's take a look at the current standings as it sits right now. Again, that North Central Carroll game has not gone final yet. Cardinals up by 4 with 10 seconds left. If both scores hold as they are right now, Titans would be 12-1. Carroll would drop to 10-3. So that's that 2-game gap between the Titans and the Pioneers. Again, Wesleyan with the tiebreaker with just 3 games left. So again, a win would lock up at least a share, and that score has gone final in Waukesha.
What a moment for North Central and for Illinois Wesleyan. North Central moving into that all-important 6th spot in the standings as things stand. Obviously, Augustana with a game in hand.
So given that, if you haven't already booked your trip to the Shirk Center on Saturday and you want to be a part of hopefully a senior day built for the ages, obviously as Titan alum Bob Quillman would say, the game of basketball is played in between the white lines. It's not on a spreadsheet. It's not on a computer. It's not anywhere else. I'm talking about this solely because of an upset that occurred north of the border. But 2 monumental games as the Titan men look to stay in contention for a bye. The Titan women with a chance to hoist a trophy on senior night. With this senior class that means so much, they got to play the game as a North Park converts. It's Brooke Panish, the Lamont native.
That's that much more suspense.
I am excited. This is a story waiting to be written. Huber, speaking of stories, her first collegiate field goal.
That'll mean the world to her. Saturday is for the seniors, but tonight is for Mackenzie Huber, her first field goal.
You gotta love the reaction of her sister, too, on the bench and the rest of the bench squad. That's the best thing about this program, is when you get into games like this, which the Titans, despite the last few weeks, have been in a lot as the hometown product. Reed with the easy bucket. We see it a lot over the course of the season. When the rotation is in, the bench is ecstatic when things happen, and vice versa. Everybody's rooting for each other. They make each other better. There are not a lot of teams in college basketball across all levels that make each other better. Jacob with the deuce.
This is such a close-knit squad, and at the end of the day, that is a huge contributing factor to the success that this generation has had and continues to have. Saturday, the stars could align for the perfect finale to the regular season home slate.
The Titans took care of Milliken in Decatur at the end of last month. Jacob with a clear path and makes North Park pay. Jacob's got 4. And the last 2 buckets for Illinois Wesleyan, who've hit 90. They have yet to hit 100 this year.
10 points off that mark with still over 2.5 minutes to play.
And going off of that point, foul called. Bowen heads to the line. With 2.5 minutes left in this group in, they're still going to run sets. They're going to play time and score, but they're still going to run sets. So that number is still within reach.
There's nothing to lose.
I doubt they'll get 5 possessions left, considering if you slice it by 30, we'll only have 5 possessions left in total. However, you never know sometimes. The most points scored in a season for Illinois Wesleyan was against Wheaton. They had 93. Elmhurst, they had 93. That's most in a regulation game. The most in overtime, 94-91 over Trinity down in Texas.
One of the most thrilling games of the season.
Largest margin of victory is still active and likely to be broken. It's currently at 50. Make it 52.
2 quick points. They're motivated.
And also with Epps on the board, the Titans dress 14 and 14 have found the bottom of the bucket.
It's a coach's heaven. Maya Smith will be delighted to see this. No shortage of depth from this Illinois Wesleyan team.
Answer from Jocelyn Chamas.
Priority definitely seems to be on attack, trying to break that 100-point mark. No need to defend too closely.
Lippick
trapped.
Turns it over. She's a field goal away from her career high, but unlikely she'll get that as she heads to the bench with just 1:44 left. Largest margin of victory, 93-57. That's less than 50. 93-56. That's less than 50. Huber taking away the steal. And the score.
What a night for Mackenzie Huber. It'll mean the world to her, and it means the world to her sister. Still minute 18 to play.
Depending on how fast the Vikings go, the century mark is still within reach.
Defensive rebound, but it slips out.
Yeah, with that, I think that puts the kibosh on that. However, a quick look. No luck
with the Titans.
From Panish. And with a minute left, no stop signs yet.
With how much urgency Epps takes this ball down, she goes for it.
Long 2.
Perfection. To hit 96.
And that's the most points from the green and white this year.
Regardless of whether they hit the century mark, that's a massive accomplishment.
Out of bounds, and that's where things get interesting.
Ball stays with the Vikings. This took a slight deflection off a Wesleyan player.
20 on the shot clock. And a travel called. So now with the Titans having possession and an 11-second differential, they're calling a set. So they get to 99 with a 3. And as far as I know, that'd be the most they get with the shot clock, in all likelihood, under 30 when they take that look. Lamb! 99!
It's good! Lamb's second 3 of the night.
It's a dance party at the Shirk Center. Answer, unsuccessful, and here comes the stop sign. However, they want triple digits. Jacob fouled. And a bit of mixed emotions on that. Coach Smith was standing on the bench, emphatic to put the stop sign up. But now Peyton Jacob with a chance to put that 1 on the board for the first time this year.
Just adding to the suspense here.
Jacob, 2 or 2 from the line this year. 0 of 1 with that. Empty trip. No matter what.
At the end of the day, it's been a fantastic attacking performance, the best of the season.
With 3.4 seconds left, stays with the Vikings. They can get 45, which is notable in some record books in terms of being held under 45. They go inside. Foul called on the in-cut, and we'll do it again. Both teams still not in the penalty. Jacob, her second. Bowen, no shot counted, and the Titans with the utmost bounce back win, the most points scored all season, and on top of that, 42 points on the board, matches the least amount of points allowed by the green and white since the 8th of January against Augustana, when they only gave up 38 points. And again, given that Carroll result, it could be a storybook Saturday at the Shirk coming up later this week.
This win means so much statistically and emotionally for Illinois Wesleyan. It's the perfect bounce-back game. We knew coming in that they were going to be motivated. In a sense, the target is off their back now that they've lost that first game. However, it's difficult. It's difficult to respond to a loss like that, and they've done it in some fashion.
We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by Coach Smith and a player guest on IWSports.com. Post game at the Shirk Center, Matt Saucer alongside our player of the game, Katie Knudsen. Knudsen finishing in double figures, 5 rebounds to go along with it, 4 of 8 from the floor. A complete game for you personally and as a team following the loss. Take me through this matchup.
It was so fun. Right before we just started this, we heard that everybody scored. So, are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll restart what I said. Whenever we were, right before we just started this, we heard that everybody scored. So it's always so much fun whenever you hear that, and the girls that work so hard every single day, they get to go out there and do their thing, and that's exactly what they did. So it's just so much fun playing with this team, and everybody deserves that.
How important was it with everything involved? Weather coming tomorrow, game gets moved up a day, coming off of a very tough day on Saturday to come out and play the way that you did?
Yeah, I mean, we're used to adversity. I mean, North Park didn't show up till supposed to be 20 minutes before the game, so we're always ready for whatever comes our way. And like adversity, we look it in the face, and we're excited for it, and we're always playing together as a family, so it's good.
Family playing together, the team aspect. Just mentioned that everybody scored, but not only that, but for the last couple weeks, it's been primarily the 7 in the rotation. Mm-hmm. Today, everybody gets in, Everybody scores. Everybody plays well. How important was that to the rotation, to get some mileage off the legs heading into the stretch of the season, but also to showcase that it's not just the green team that comprises this program. It's all 14, all 15 of these players.
Yeah, and I mean, the people who played against Carthage, obviously we wanted revenge, so we started off hot, I think, and we held them. Our number was supposed to be 49 for the game, and at halftime we adjusted that to 40, so we were pretty darn close, and that's a full team effort. That's not just Luigi coming in the game and hitting a three like she always does, or just everybody scoring. That's locking down on defense. That's not the pretty part. That's not the part that is glamorous, but we all obviously locked into that today.
I'll save the senior night celebration and stuff like that for Saturday, but given the scores around the conference, North Central upsetting Carroll, you along with your 3 other seniors have an opportunity to hoist a trophy at the Shirk against your rival on senior day. How important is that to this group and to the rest of the team?
It couldn't be set up any more perfectly. It's we're all really excited, and obviously, I mean, those seniors, the other 3, have been here for 4 years. I've been here for 3, so it's just been a long time coming, and I'm excited to celebrate them.
Matt Sossler alongside Katie Knutson, following the Titans' highest mark on offense, one of their lower marks in points allowed on defense over North Park. Katie, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Coach Smith on the other side on IWSports.com.
When competition for the best jobs is fierce, how do you set yourself apart? Experience? An education? Yes, but not just any education. At Illinois Wesleyan, we prepare graduates who break through the noise, who run the boardroom, the classroom, the lab, the stage. The best college for jobs in Illinois is right in your own backyard. Reach further, dream bigger, and break through at Illinois Wesleyan University.
Post-game at the Shirk Center following the Titans' 99-42 win over North Park. Matt Sossler alongside head coach Maya Smith. Coach, following Saturday, game gets moved up. You come in, you put up your highest mark on the season. You allow one of the lowest marks on the season. How important was it not only to come in today and get a win, not only get a win by 20 or 30, but to do it like this?
It is a good-looking score, that's for sure, and I really thought our girls were obviously dialed in after not having such a successful Saturday. But, some people say a loss is good. I still don't feel that way. I wish we were sitting here at 22-0, but we have the loss. So we're going to learn from it. There's no doubt about that. But this was a great game and really good for us to focus on positive things. And I think that's what we did. I thought our press was really positive. I thought our rebounding was really positive. And then I thought offensively, this might have been one of the better times we've executed in our stuff. So I was excited about that.
All 14 active players found the bottom of the net. Mackenzie Huber, her first collegiate field goal. Martha Lippick won off a career high. This is something that you've been waiting to do since the Wheaton game at the end of January. How much did it mean to get your entire team in for quality minutes?
Yeah, quality minutes, that's the key right there, Matt. I mean, they played a quarter and a half. And we talked about it at halftime in the locker room that this is how you reward all the stuff that goes into the hard practices, into the scouts, into the days where there's some days where they don't get to play offense. They're just playing defense only. So it was a great reward for them and a well-earned reward. Those girls, as you can see, they can all play. They've all got some skill. So it looks good for our future. I'm really happy about that and really excited that they all scored today.
I mentioned this to Katie at the end of the interview. We'll save the senior day stuff. I know it's going to be a very filled day in every aspect of the emotional spectrum. But as a tease, given the result in Waukesha with North Central taking down Carroll, you have the opportunity, similar to last year, to close your senior day by hoisting a trophy on the IW logo and a chance to have it not be the last game that this senior class that has done so much for your program play at the Shirk Center. How much are you looking forward to Saturday?
I'm going to go to sleep tonight thinking about that, Matt. That's really great. I like that idea a lot. Our seniors are incredible young women and just very deserving of, they've worked so hard this entire season. And I think they've brought a lot of joy to our community, to our university, a lot of recognition. And they're going to keep working, and it will be great for us. I know we've got a lot of things planned for Saturday. going to be a tough, emotional day. When Coach Brian and I are in my office talking about, preparations, we both tear up. It's going to be hard, and get a lump in my throat. So great kids, love them to death.
Well, Coach, the good news is you got an extra day to think about it with the game getting moved up. Before I let you go, how important is the extra 24 hours of rest? Even though you might be hunkered down by the fire with a foot of snow outside, how important is it just from a rest standpoint to have that for the team?
I think anytime you get rest this point in time of the year, it's really good. So I'm not sure what we're going to do on Wednesday. Maybe a lot of shots up tomorrow, but it'll certainly be a little bit lighter. I know coaches will put together a highlight film from this game. And what a great game to do that, because everybody's going to get highlighted. So that'll be fun.
Matt Sossler alongside head coach Maya Smith following the Titans' dominant victory over North Park. Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you much. Hi, Grandma Felina.
We wrap up the program on the other side on IWSports.com. Wrapping up the program at the Shirk Center following the Titans' 99-42 win over North Park. Matt Sossler alongside Kirill Anastasov. Kirill, it was just a much-needed, complete win. Talked about it with Coach Smith and with Katie.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to win by 20 against a North Park team that has had their struggles. They have yet to win a conference game this year. Their losing streak is now 16. It's one thing to win by 30. It's another thing to win by 55.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a testament to the attacking quality that Wesleyan have, but also defensively. It was a great game for the loss of just 42 points, despite not playing the starting rotation for much of the second half. And we talk about North Park. Yes, this is their 16th loss in a row. Yes, when you put it in perspective, Wesleyan's expected to come away with the win. But this commanding of a victory, no matter the opposition, is an amazing achievement. And each of these players, literally every single one of them, should be proud of their performance tonight. 14 of them in the scorebook.
Got a lot of leading scorers to break down. Let's dive right into it. Ava Bardick in just 19 minutes, 17 points, 4 steals, and a rebound, 5 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 3 from three-point land, and 5 of 5 from the line. Kate Palmer also in double figures with 12 points in 17 minutes. She shot 50% from the floor. Katie Knudsen, 11 points, 4 of 8 on field goals in just 16 minutes. Mallory Powers, 9 points in 18 minutes. And the stat line that jumps out the most at me, what a day for the Hubers.
Absolutely.
Lauren, 8 points, shooting 50%, 3 of 6 from the field, 8 rebounds, so a possession, you could say, away from a double-double.
Absolutely, yeah.
Rebound, score, rebound. And get this, 12 minutes of action. She played a quarter in 2 minutes and was on our double-double watch for today's game. Sawyer White, 7 points, 4 steals, and climbed the ladder. She's now second all-time in program history in steals. Mackenzie Huber, continuing on that note, finished with 4 points. That's a career high. Got her first career collegiate field goal. 2 of 3 from the field, and then also contributed a couple of steals, which is something that Coach Smith talks a lot about on how these players perform in practice, how hard their practices are. And I've seen their practices. I've seen a lot of them. Doesn't matter who they're playing. I've seen them in Iowa when they're playing with their season on the line in the NCAA tournament. I see them practice before games that are similar to this. The intensity is the exact same. The effort from player 1 to player 15 is the exact same. Their focus and attention to detail is impeccable. And one of the players that is worth highlighting amongst a ton of others is Mackenzie Huber. Sophia Feeney, 4 points as well to go along with Peyton Jacob and Alyssa Epps. Liv Myers with a deuce for North Park. Not a ton offensively for him. Aaliyah Hirschberger, 11 points, 3 of 9 from the field. Olivia Reed in her final homecoming back to the Shirk, 7 points, 3 of 6 from the field. So certainly something to hang your hat on, playing back in your hometown. Had a lot of family and friends at the Shirk Center today, despite all the weather, the game being moved up, and everything like that. So she certainly did what she could, amassing her season average of 1.7 points entering today.
And registering 6 rebounds to go with it. So certainly a good homecoming performance for her, all things considered. But absolutely, I mean, just what a night it's been for the entire Wesleyan squad. You mentioned the Hubers. The sisters combining for 12 points and 12 rebounds. The younger Huber having her older sister's performance, her season best. It's just a comprehensive victory and one that highlights the squad depth that Wesleyan have, highlights some issues that North Park have had continuously throughout this season. They'll be looking to bounce back. But for Wesleyan, full focus ahead now on clinching that regular season title and hosting rights.
And in true Huber fashion, celebrating a Titan win with some baked goods. They do that after every single ball game, win, lose, or draw. And I gotta say, they're fantastic. I've had a few, and they are definitely something to get your taste buds on.
Well deserved for both of them tonight.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'll have to ask once we're off the air. Typically, they only bring one tray.
Mm-hmm.
So it's who gets to keep the tray, and is there a barometer on who gets it? All coming up. You'll have to stay tuned for Saturday to focus on that. Let's now take a look at the week ahead in Titan athletics. It is certainly a big one considering the results today on the women's basketball side, but also all around the sports in Titan athletics. We start off today, women's basketball doubleheader. Tomorrow, stay warm, stay safe, with a winter storm anticipated to hit Central Illinois. The reason that this game got moved up. Thursday and Friday, get ready to go. No events for the Titans, but then Saturday. I mentioned that it's busy. It's not busy in terms of quantity. Only 2 games after this week. At home on the Titan Broadcast Network. It is busy in terms of quality. A senior day where the women will honor 4 seniors, Katie Knudsen, Mallory Powers, Kate Palmer, and Lauren Huber. The men's side will honor their seniors as well. Nick Roper, Harrison Williamson, Marco Anderson, Shane Miller, Trey Bazell.
And these 3 days off are going to add to the buildup and the excitement that Senior Day is going to produce. Doubleheader right here on Saturday. What a moment that's going to be.
And it's not even the headline, but it's the underline, is that it's against Milliken. And it does not matter what is on the line, what the records are. If the teams are destined to have their season end at the regular season, or if you look at last year, both teams' NCAA tournament programs, it's Wesleyan Milliken. No matter what, people show up. It's a big contest. And to add Senior Day to it, to add that if the Titan women win, they will have a trophy ceremony and get to host the conference tournament. There is so much on the line. There's so much pomp and circumstance. And so I encourage you to head out to Shirk Center, brave the elements. If you cannot do that, I will have the call alongside Joel Swanson. Pre-game ceremonies, including the Senior Day ceremonies, starting at 1:40 right here on IWSports.com for our entire crew here in Bloomington. Katie Gonzalez, Meredith Mahoney, and Taya Galaseth, our entire athletic communications crew. Tyler Wilson, Dylan Meyer, Caleb Himes, and our entire stream crew. And for Carol Anastasov, I'm Matt Sossler. The Titans scored the most amount of points this season, allow one of the least amount of points this season, 99-42 over North Park. Thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us, and stay warm and stay safe tomorrow on IWSports.com.